Welcome to Lost Culture, your one-stop destination for everything pop culture. My name's Aston, and today we're going to do a review and a recap for Arrow Season 5, Episode 2. So in this episode, I gotta say, Arrow is actually keeping the high up. They're definitely improving this season. The last couple seasons been kind of shaky, but this last two episodes for Season 5 had definitely lifted the energy. So this episode, we get to see that he's actually trying to train up the new group. We see Oliver struggling to train them. We see, I forget her name, Artemis. She's going to be Artemis. She was the fake canary last season. We still don't see him training her as an archer yet, but we get to see him trying to train the team as a whole. It's not really working. We see Mr. Incredible. He's trying to do I don't know what the hell they call that exercise, but the pole that Oliver always does. We see he's trying to do it, but he isn't really good at it. So Oliver be like, oh, that must not have been part of your regimen for your Olympic training and everything. So we see that. We see Wild Dog is actually back on the back out on the field. My thing for Wild Dog is he must have like the greatest healing factor of all time. Like he has to be on Wolverine level or something, because last week he caught an arrow to the knee. And then this week he's back out on the field. Maybe that might just kind of explain why he kind of tripped up on that jump. It was probably because of his knee. But besides that, we see he's back in the field. We see he actually uses guns, He's he's actually good. I forget the actor's name. He's like a pretty popular actor. He played in stuff like Coach Carter and bunch of shows like that. Reaper was an old CW show. So CW likes to recycle a lot of their actors. Like that's one thing. And once you're inside the CW family, you're basically always got a job if you want one. But besides that, that's what we got. We get to see Diggle's struggles that are going on right now. We see Diggle's back in the military. I have a lot of issues with these military scenes, but I'll use those for my down. But back to Diggle, we see he's basically on a mission to recover the Genesis core or bomb. He's trying to recover it, and it turns out that his commanding officer is actually dirty, and he's actually going to sell the part. He actually kind of interrupts that, and in doing so, they actually kind of frame Diggle for everything that's going on, and that's where we leave Diggle at. Now, Diggle is a great leader. We see when he's there talking to his privates and everything, and he actually gets motivation out of it. He gets them to do everything else. I just didn't like how he sent them into a dummy mission. It's two of them. They didn't know how many people was actually there. And he said, let's go into this firefight. Like, bruh, you should have just called him back up and it would have been a better thing. But that's all we got out of Diggle's story. Now, we don't know how Flash actually affected Diggle's life in this episode, because we don't hear anything about Baby Sarah or Baby John, whichever one is going on in the Arrow timeline right now. We don't know which one we got, but maybe we'll find out next week. So, going back to Oliver and all his struggles going on, we have a new, we thought was a bad guy. He's actually turned out to be a good guy. He's going after Amertek. You know who Amertek is? Amertek is a big player in the DC universe. We see well, in the actual comic books, we know like the CEO who built everything. He actually found out his weapons were being used for harm. He actually leads Amertek, but we don't really get to see that inside the Arrow universe right now. But going back, we get to see that Amertek is basically suffering because it was their nuke that actually landed on New Haven last season. And we see this new metahuman. Well, I don't know if he's a metahuman or the robes were mystic. One of those two. He's one of those two things. But we know he's actually from the New Haven bombing. He's the sole survivor. His father gave him those robes basically to protect him. He told him they were ancient. So yeah, they have to be magical robes. We don't know how that's going to turn out. It's kind of like a Dr. Fate type armor, but without the because Dr. Fate has his own like spirit in it, and he takes over a being. This one seems more of a vessel. When you get into it, you actually control it yourself. So we see that going on. We're trying to track this individual down the whole episode. We don't know how to find him or what his motives actually are. But we know he basically, well, we know now in the episode, but as the episode is going on, we don't know what his motives are or why he's attacking people. We just think he's another meta. He attacks a couple CEOs for Ameritech. We see, I think his name was Cross, who was the big bad. And I'm sorry to tell you, like, he's not a Stringer Bell, in my opinion. He's nowhere close to Stringer Bell. It just doesn't rub me like a Stringer Bell at all. I can't really get behind that. But we see he actually gets close to killing Ollie, but we find out Ollie actually let him get close to killing him so he can actually get the Ragman, what they're calling him. I don't know what his actual name is yet, but they're calling him the Ragman. So we see Ollie actually let him do that so they can get that in. And going on from there, we see that with the, what am I trying to say? With the group that Oliver is putting together, we see he's going into the little to the test of teamwork test. Basically, they have to get past him to ring the bell. Now, this is in any show, anime, TV show, books. Anytime that there's like a teamwork, they always do something like this. Like this, you got to get past the sensei as a group to ring the bell. Everybody's probably seen it in Naruto. That's one of the most popular like things I can think of when Sasuke and Sakura always had to get past their master. And now in this episode, nobody really knows what they're doing. We see the team does not work well together. They're not really communicating. They're all just basically doing one-on-one with Oliver, which we know they can't beat. We get to the point where Oliver actually just puts his arrow down and he puts his bow down because he knows they have no chance of getting past him. And the whole time we have Felicity in the back corner. Felicity, she's kind of giving them advice, like, look, you need to do this, you need to do that. And Oliver really don't want to hear it. He's really just trying to get things together. He's trying to make the team back, get a team that's ready, but he doesn't have time because he keeps comparing them back to like Laurel, Speedy, Diggle, but we know this isn't them. And he's hesitating about bringing these people on because how Laurel died, and it's just sad about that. It's sad that he's not willing to let them in. But once we see he actually breaks, he lets them in for the Ameritech detail. We see Wild Dog actually breaks protocol. He once Oliver tells him, like, look, the only way you guys are going to do this is you guys do not interfere at all. You guys are just here for I. So once he comes, I can lock him down. And we see Lieutenant, well, what is it? I don't know what Officer Lance. I don't know what he's going by right now. But Detective Lance shows up. He shows up like 2 hours late, I think they said. He complained on traffic. Obviously, we can see that he's off. He's real shaky. Like, we can tell he's back on whatever substance he was abusing before. It was just alcohol. Like, he's back to the bottle. He's back to drinking it again. And we see it's actually affecting his life to like a whole nother level. We see the Ragman actually came through the door that he was supposed to be guarding, which wasn't really mattered anyway. He would have got through the door regardless, but they would have knew a couple seconds sooner. That's the only thing. Now, with that being said, we see once Wild Dog interferes, he actually gets a piece of the cloth, and from there, Felicity is able to go to her new boyfriend and get it analyzed, get some information about it, and she see the isotopes on it are actually specific to Ameritech, so she finds out from them. Well, at the same time, we see Speedy's supposed to be meeting up with her because Ollie was supposed to protect the CEO. He didn't. She got injured. Now she's suing the city. And with that, we see Speed trying to get a meeting with her, and it turns out that she's in cahoots with Cross. And Cross is basically made a deal with her for $100 million, basically to keep Ameritech afloat. And it's just, actually, I think it's weird how obviously it's a TV show. We had to find some plot device to push the story further. But yeah, it was Speedy. We found out, got the information we needed to know about the whole deal going down. And we really couldn't find a location for the deal. So Oliver's great plan was stop actually looking for the deal and start looking for the Ragman. Because with that radiation coming off of him, it would have been easy to put a sensor out and see where any radiation spikes were and follow him to the deal. Which they did, because we see at the end of the episode when the Cross deal is going down, we see that Oliver follows the Ragman there. The Ragman is basically doing his job. We see Oliver turns up the lights. Cross gets excited that Oliver showed up. And Oliver breaks it down. Oliver basically, like I said, he puts himself up for risk, hoping that the Ragman would actually save him. And he did. We see he actually recruits the Ragman. That's actually ended up being his first recruit to the team. The other recruits end up quitting because the training that Oliver was giving them was too hard, which is unfortunate, because I feel like they can't handle this. There's going to be a lot more coming because they don't really know how Oliver actually gets. Once everything goes down, once they start seeing Flash and everybody coming back into the little rundown, they're gonna get even worse, because Oliver is cool, but when Sarah gets back, then you get Adam and everybody. Those guys are just as hard as Oliver is on each other. So when they're working together, I feel like that's gonna be kind of like a clash theirs. Now, by the end of the episode, we see Oliver is willing to open up to the new recruits. He lets them know that he's actually Oliver, which is funny because Wild Dog was actually making smart remarks about Oliver, not knowing that he's Arrow also. And once he finally revealed who he is, he tells him "Oh, I'm not going to apologize for the remarks I made about you." And Oliver said, "I don't really expect you to, but we're not going to change your code name, because for some reason, Wild Dog does not like his code name. He wants a new one. Artemis doesn't even have a code name yet. So I'm just waiting for her to get her Artemis name. And we finally know who the other archer is, the new black archer. What is it? Prometheus. His name is Prometheus. So yes, they varied from the regular origins of Prometheus. This Prometheus is an archer. The Prometheus, from the comic books, normally is an archer. Yes, he's really skilled in combat and things of that nature, and he's very intelligent and has money, but he's not an archer. Yes, he has projectiles, he has super strength and everything. So it's kind of weird that they went this route with him. I figured they probably I personally would have been better just going with Prometheus, but as more comic book version of him. Maybe I'm out of date with Prometheus or something, but I think it would have been better just keeping him as the way he was from the comic books. Because I don't really think we need another archer. Yes, I don't think he had a archer rival for the last couple of seasons. I think it's cool. We just went back to a different type of character. But besides that, that's who the bad guy is, and I want to know how he's going to go against that. He's already fought archers before, so I just don't know how they're going to do this. Now, getting back, that's really all we have for this episode. There's not much. There's a lot to happen, but there's not much. We see he has the crew. And a good thing about this episode for me, I don't know why I can't talk right now, but a good thing about this episode to me was seeing him recruit the groups, seeing how he was training with them, seeing how his flashbacks actually mirrored the training that he was giving to the new recruits. Maybe he didn't kill anybody, but as far as the training was, he kind of went through similar training when he was trying to get into the mafia. Now, my downside of this episode would be the military stuff. I swear Diggle was like an E7 last time we seen him. Now he's like an E5. I don't know why they're doing why they demoted him. Another thing is what else happened with Diggle? Not the formations, but when they were going into the room, just the way they took the door and everything was just so out of not maybe because I know I have military around, I know little things like that, but Diggle being a combat veteran, he didn't have a combat patch on. There was just so much stuff wrong with the military scene that kind of messed with me a little bit. I feel like they could have did a lot better to that, being more truer to the military side of it. But besides that, the whole episode as a whole was still a good show. Even for like I said, for the pluses, they're still keeping up the momentum that they've gotten from the first episode. They're steadily increasing. They're getting a lot better from where they've been at the last couple of episodes. Last couple of seasons. And that's really all we had this episode. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, my name is Aston. You can follow us on Instagram at Lost_Culture, or you can follow us on Twitter at Lost_Culture TV, or you can follow me on Instagram at Saint_Aston. And as always, stay lost. A review and a recap for Arrow Season 5, Episode 1. So everything else, for the most part, feels the same. I don't really notice any differences